because that authoritarian type coming down heavy-handed doesn't have to happen if there's the ongoing conversation. If it's a check-in, if you have an employee or you have a team member and there's something that needs to be done, and when it's not done, you're present to see it and say, hey, this is a standard for us as a team or an organization, and we need to make sure this gets done. So let's do it. And with that seems to be, in my mind, one of the distinctions between kind of the more hard power leadership style versus softer and with people is being present. When you're present, you're participating with accountability in developing and allowing people to shift their focus towards the core missions of the family or the business. And when you're authoritarian, you can be somewhat absent and just come running in like a bull in a china shop and just bark and scare people back to their job. That seems to be a clear distinction for me in those two areas.
Well, I think so like for instance, if you want people to execute upon their accountability, then you have to be the one executing on yours. So like for instance, I had a one-on-one with, I have a 3-man executive team, that basically manages like all of our coaches. And I had a one-on-one with one of my executive coaches last night, and we were talking through some things, and he's given some new tasks, but I also had homework for myself, that I promised him. And at the end of the meeting, I said, okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that we both know our marching orders from here. So I have agreed to do this, and do this. And then my timeline to get this done is by noon tomorrow. So you will have those things in your inbox by noon tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's got things he needs to get to me. Now, this is where a leader really creates culture, right? So if I don't have those things to him in his inbox by noon the next day, in my mind, it actually needs to be earlier than that. I want to over deliver, right? Versus and under promise. So like if I can't hold up my end of the deal and I don't get him what he needs and I'm full of excuses, well, what does that say to him? That says we have a culture of we don't actually hold our promises, and we can, as long as we have a good excuse, we'll let it go.
And sorry to interrupt, man.
No, you're good.
That is a microcosm of sorts of what I'm sensing as we talk about this is that's like how it goes in organizations. That's like how it goes with being the winner and being the boss, being the top dog. Is you don't have to do what you said you were going to do because you're the boss. You don't have to do what you're telling people to do because you're the authority. You can do whatever you want. And that is like, I've worked with people like that. I've worked with people that they have such strong agendas and demands for you, what they need you to do, but they themselves are more scatterbrained than, a cat in a THC gummy. Like that is such a beautiful quality, man, of a leader. It's like the responsibility aspect of it. It's hard for me to articulate this, but I'm trying my best. The responsibility aspect of it is something that I'm learning more and more about leadership as I get older, is that most of the leaders I've seen in my life, most of the leaders I've looked up to in my life, especially in business, display this kind of, when you are on a higher part of the chain of command, you don't have to follow the orders. You don't have to be accountable and organized. The accountability doesn't go both ways. It's not that I have to uphold my agreements to you. It's you have to uphold your agreements to me because I'm your boss.
Right.
And it's just so ugly to do that, man. It's just so ugly to do that.